Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is F1 Fanatics. Welcome back to the first race preview of the season. Although if you watched last week when we released our Australia race preview, let's not talk about that. Everyone knows what happened. Let's not talk about it. We confused a lot of people doing that. We're like, re-upload? Confusing. Why am I getting an inbox to this now?
It never happened.
Yeah, why am I getting an inbox to this now? Yeah, it didn't ever happen. But, no. You know, in that, an important point to note. Hi, Tara. She's coming in for the preview. As you know, when we're on the couch, Tara just slides in or out whenever she wants to. But, yeah, as you know, Stephen was like going, will he make more appearances? Well, since then, he's made a lot more appearances. Yeah. He is here for this preview, but we are planning that previews and the race review podcast will be back with Ash as we go forward from this. But we had to fill in for now because figuring out recordings. Anyway, irrelevant of that, you guys have tuned in for the Austria race preview. So how we do things here on the F1 Fanatics preview is we're going to give you some stats about the track. We're then going to, lead in to Mike's amateur lap, because what better way to learn the track than to have a kind of visual tour. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's great. And then we're going to give a kind of snapshot of the 2019 race. Stephen will enjoy that section.
Oh yeah,
a lot. Then we're actually going to preview the race and what we think, who's going to do well. What are things to look out for. Lots of excitement building in his first race. Finishing off with 3 bold predictions, and then bam, that's your lot. That's your done. So I guess we should probably start off with the stats. Austria is a 4.318 kilometre track. It has 71 race laps, and its first race was in 1970.
Fastest lap there is a 106.9, and that is held by Kimi Räikkönen. The most successful driver there is Alain Prost with 3 wins, only 3, which Max Verstappen could match this year.
Make it 3 in a row.
Oh yeah.
Would be very impressive. Make it a hat-trick of wins at Austria at the Red Bull Ring at, Red Bull's home Grand Prix, which obviously we said in yesterday's F1 Fancy. Getting a bit greedy here at Red Bull, aren't they? Yeah. Technically, Silverstone could be a home Grand Prix. Obviously, they've got Japan now with the Honda engine. God, they're just getting big support everywhere. What are you playing at, Red Bull?
Yeah.
Did I go too far?
You went too far.
I went too far. Okay, right, going from there. But now, you've had a couple of stats there. We now move on to Mike's amateur lap. And that is the lap that I do kind of a virtual lap through the Grand Prix circuit of the week. Obviously, this one is going to be Austria. And I get 2 attempts at this one. How exciting, because I get next week as well. This is going to be the challenge. We've got to make a note of that time because we're going to see whether I can beat that time next week. Austria is one of my favourite ones to go. I'm not sure. Who should I be driving as in the amateur lap? I'll guess you'll find out.
Oh no.
And here we are at Mike's amateur lap. We're back in the car, guys. It's been a long time since Australia, and we are here with the last 2-time winner, Max Verstappen, in his Red Bull. So as we approach turn 1, will this be an action area on Sunday? Drivers might be a little bit rusty after that long break. We are into the first DRS zone that kind of is a long straight. Turn 2 kind of there into a heavy braking zone, which is turn 3, and then into the second DRS zone, which makes that a real kind of big action area. Of course, that is where Max Verstappen overtook Charles Leclerc last season. That is the start of Sector 2, and as we come into Turn 4, it's a kind of a loop corner before we go into a kind of heavily downforced affected area with the winding corners of 5, 6, 7 and 8. It really is, you can gain and lose a lot of time in that section. As you can see here, my line isn't necessarily too great through here. But as we come through 8 now, we go up the hill into the kind of blind crest of the hill and down the last kind of main straight of this lap into turn 9. Coming into the last corner, that is turn 10, heavily across the curb there, and into the last DRS zone. 3 DRS zones at this track. That is another Mike's Amateur Lap. I hope you've enjoyed it and enjoy the rest of the preview. So I was Max, of course. You had to be Max going round the Red Bull Ring, their home Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
But yes, obviously, as always with Mike's Amateur Lab, I'm left in disbelief that a Formula 1 team hasn't signed me.
It was a bit rusty after the break, you know.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you did that Australia Amateur Lap.
It has. Haven't really been on it since. We've just been going here. So, yeah, I crazy. Everyone else has been doing virtual GPs. I've been like the drivers. I'm stuck out of my car. I couldn't get it. Now I'm there.
Jump in.
I've got to jump in, Rusty. I've got to just... That's what I had to do.
Next week, can you beat that time?
That is the big question. Can I beat that time? But I hope you enjoyed Mike's Amateur Lap. But now is our kind of quick snapshot of last year's race, kind of remembering the high points. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
First one's quite a low point. It looked like it was going to be disaster. Max Verstappen stalls it or whatever, drops to 9th from the first lap. Disaster. Everything's over. Whole world is over.
Okay.
That's point 1.
Stephen still hasn't got over that start yet. You alright?
I'm fine.
Hopefully, I'm sure it'll be better this year. I mean, the outcome... Oh, we'll get onto that. Point 2 is Lando Norris, best of the rest. Had a fantastic race, actually, Lando. Battled throughout a kind of couple of the top guys, making it difficult. I think Vettel at stages made a good overtake on Kimi Raikkonen at turn 3. Lando Norris had a strong performance there in obviously his rookie season. This was one of his standout performances and one of his highest finishes. I think actually, 6th was his highest finish that he got in the year. And I think he achieved that a couple of times. But yeah, impressive from Lando on that front.
Yeah, it was a very good start. It was challenging Lewis and Phil. Good battle for him. Number 3. Well, Mercedes won't be hoping that history repeats itself because it was not their day at the office last year. Although, to be fair, Bottas still got a podium, but neither of them looked like they had anywhere near the pace of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen up top. Lewis had problems with his front wing, and they had cooling problems. Not good. No,
and we say this obviously with a pinch of salt, because what's not a good day at the office for Mercedes, for most teams, is quite a good day at the office. A podium and a P5. Yeah. In some books, people would say that's a good result for Red Bull or Ferrari in some aspects in terms of it. But yeah, no, with Mercedes, because their stands were so high and because they had been so high and that's kind of to date, that was the first time they didn't win, I think.
And it was the first time Lewis hadn't gone on the podium, I think, that season.
So, not quite smooth sailing. They certainly will be looking to kind of get that out the kind of way from last year. 4. Lessons learned for Leclerc. Bahrain. Everyone thought that Charles deserved that. He really did. He dominated the Bahrain weekend, but his engine gave up on him and he was able to secure a podium there. It looked like Charles Leclerc and Austria would secure his first victory in Formula 1. Bam! Max Verstappen. But, he learnt from that, and from the season on, we'll obviously talk about it in other previews, he kind of... he was much better in terms of his racecraft and defending. He was a lot harder to get past.
Yeah, notably in Monza, I think is the best example there.
Definitely is on that one. I'll look forward to kind of reliving that on the Monza one. But yeah, it was still a fantastic performance. P2 for Charles Leclerc, but it was definitely lessons learned. And to round off this section, any surprise, Stephen?
Oh, no, it's the raging Red Bull of Max Verstappen. He seemed to be losing power throughout the race. He ended the first lap in 9th, but he won. As you said, with that bold move on Charles Leclerc, elbows out, nothing wrong with it, bit of good racing. Max Verstappen won.
Absolutely. And
his 6th career victory. Yes.
Was very impressive. I was going to say, to use the line from Days of Thunder, Robin is racing. So, yeah, it was harsh. It was hard fighting on track. It was wheel-to-wheel action, but it was completely fair in our books. And, yeah, it was impressive to see Max there. And funnily enough, doing this preview this is our first ever Austrian preview, because the race later is when we actually started the channel at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Which, is a bit crazy to kind of think, but definitely 2019 was the start of a real good run of races, and what a way to kind of start off the 2020 season, which we lead into. So, dare I ask, Stephen, who do you think is going to do well this Sunday on race day?
I gotta say, it's Max Verstappen. He's got a record to match with Alain Prost for the most victories at Austria. Red Bull Home Grand Prix. But Mercedes, they don't make the same mistake twice. Well, someone's probably going to say, well, they did do this twice. But usually they don't make the same mistake twice. And you can't write them off. I think it'll be a battle between Max and Lewis Hamilton. I think those are the two big boys coming into this.
That's my gut instinct. This race does very much feel like Hungary was the first proper battle. I suppose you could say Monaco a little bit between Max and Lewis.
Yeah.
But, wheel-to-wheel action-wise, we got Max and Lewis in Hungary. I think 2020 to me feels like it's going to be the Max and Lewis show. That isn't saying Charles Leclerc isn't good enough to be up there with them, or Sebastian Vettel, or Valtteri Bottas. Not writing them off, but I just feel these are the hungriest, and they're the two best placed teams to do it, and they're the lead drivers at those two teams. Ferrari, like I said, it's a flip of a coin. They might fool everyone and be absolutely incredible in 2020, and we're sitting here eating our words going, wow, didn't see that coming from Ferrari. But I suppose that's the point. Didn't see that coming from Ferrari.
Exactly. At the moment, it's looking like Red Bull and Mercedes are the more complete teams. And Max versus Lewis. You want to see it. We want it. Maybe Leclerc will get in the action, but I think Lewis and Max are the two top guys.
So I think Lewis and Max is probably going to be where they're fighting at the top. But you know what I'm most excited about? It's the midfield. Because I literally have no idea. Racing Point had this incredible pace in testing.
Just say it.
Sergio Perez! Yeah! He's going to be best of the rest. Come on! Checo! Hashtag Checo time. Make sure you tune in to the live streams on Twitch with F1 Fanatics, as we have hashtag Aston is back.
Oh, yeah.
Shameless plug in there, because as always, if we don't promote ourselves, who else is going to do it?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no. On a serious note, Racing Point obviously showed good pace. McLaren were best of the rest last year. Renault have a package. They're the Ferrari of the midfield for me. But whether or not they will kind of follow through with any of that potential is another thing. And then after that, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, HAAS, Williams, no idea.
Well, the only thing to add on the Renault front is Ricciardo. Who knows? With Sainz at McLaren, they clearly got a very good relationship there. I can't see Sainz or McLaren's relationship affecting performances. But Ricciardo and Renault, you never know.
Well, Sainz is going up the ladder. There is no doubt at this moment in time in Formula One, going from McLaren to Ferrari is a step up. Now, if you're going from McLaren to Renault at the time, that is a move to your direct competitor. But do they then keep Ricciardo happy in terms of, not that he'd out and out go out of his way to share. I'm sure there's kind of rules in terms of doing it. But yeah, Cyril hasn't exactly been happy with Ricciardo's decision. And Cyril, notably, has been fond of being bitter. Obviously, a lot of these teams have been out testing, haven't they? McLaren haven't been able to do so because Renault wouldn't give them an engine because their partnership's running out in 2021. So, yeah.
Obviously, they're going to want to get their money's worth from Ricciardo, but they're going to start limiting information to him. Ocon's probably going to be their priority. Mentally, where's Ricciardo at?
It's a difficult one. It's flipping, isn't it? It feels a weird year, and where they finished best of the rest in 2018, and they came 5th, but it wasn't a convincing 5th.
No.
And they were quite a far way off McLaren from that distance. So they seemed to progress backwards, or whether you could argue McLaren just made that many steps forward that overtook Renault. But yeah, it certainly felt a stagnated season, and I don't think they can afford another stagnated system. So they're probably one to watch. They're an interesting one, I think. Williams, I think, are a big one, aren't they? Because Williams, obviously, no one likes seeing a team at the back of the grid that's just like they lock out the back row and they're pretty much going to finish in last places every race, bar kind of some unusual circumstances. Will Williams be closer? I mean, testing looked more promising.
Yep. They how was it about second they'd improved, or was it more than that?
I think it might have even been maybe second and a half.
Yeah, I think it was more. They're free from Rocket. Will that benefit them at all? Who knows? I think it's do or die for Williams, and hopefully they find some good performances in there.
Definitely, it's certainly, there's a lot of drivers, I think, with a lot of pressure. How will Latifi's debut go? How will George do? Constantly linked with that Mercedes seat. He probably pressures on to perform as well. Giovinazzi got good young Ferrari juniors in F2 this year. He's got to come out the blocks fighting. Gasly, Kvyat. What's going to happen at AlphaTauri? I mean, Toro Rosso finished 6th last year, but where are they?
Can they go better?
Exactly, they're a B team technically, and Alfa Romeo, what were they? They had a great first half of the season, but then just kind of tailed off. Where are these teams? And I think it's a really interesting one, and we're just in that kind of area of I don't know, basically.
It's weird because normally start of the season, it's quite close to winter testing. You have a good idea where teams are at, but we've had such a long break. How have drivers prepared? Who's kept in shape? Obviously, they've all kept in shape, but how's testing gone? Obviously, McLaren haven't been able to get into an F1 car for warm-ups.
Max couldn't get into the UK. Not that I don't think those are going to be the make or break of things, but
there's so many unknowns.
Yeah. That's probably the safest one to go. But I think there's one thing that you can probably take from this all is we cannot wait for racing to be back. I mean, it's been so long. In modern times, this is obviously the longest break it's ever been between F1 races and the start and end of a season. And it's incredible. All the kind of stuff that's gone in the world. It'll be a nice pick-me-up for our kind of us F1 fans. It's just going to be incredible to watch. And it's going to be such an amazing feeling, I think.
Is the forecast still looking like it's going to be a bit of a wet race?
It's mixed. Some are saying wet, some are saying it's cloud and sunshine, but we don't know on that front. But regardless, whatever, Austria is a great track.
And it'd be great to see some racing there.
Yeah, it's a great one to kind of start off with. So before we go on our 3 bold predictions, who's going to be on your podium?
My podium, I'm going to put Max, Lewis and Bottas.
This is boring. That's my podium. Max, Lewis and Bottas in exactly the same order. Mercedes...
We didn't actually discuss this beforehand.
No, that's genuinely not a disgust. Not a disgust, but disgust. But yeah, Mercedes, like we said, they look so strong in testing. And it just almost was arrogant. Like, we are that good.
Yeah.
Will Das make an appearance? Yeah. That'd be interesting.
As far as we know, it never got banned, so it could still be...
Well, it can go ahead for this season. It's banned for 2021.
There we go.
So, but it's whether, because they now have, with limiting the cost, these upgrade tokens, do they want it in the car? Do they not want it in the car? It's going to be interesting to see. Was it just there to play mind games with the teams? who knows on that front. But Max, I just have a good feeling. Max, for me, he's gone quietly about his business. I'm sure he's done like a lot of preparation work. He's been out of the spotlight. He hasn't really kind of done anything, which means for me that he was just getting that sole mind focus of, I'm going to win the Formula One World Championship this year. That's not saying Max will win the Formula One World Championship, but I think himself firmly believes that he thinks this is his year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, Max. I'm impartial.
Impartial from me. No, but yeah, it's just there. I can't. I'd probably say it's really hard to see past Lewis, but yeah, I think like we said before, Max and Lewis kind of feels like it's going to be the
I
battle.
think either of them could win.
Definitely on that front. Right, now for our fun section, which you guys can get involved in the comments down below, is your 3 bold predictions from the race. Do you want me to go first, or do you want kind of...
You go first.
Okay,
you go with your first one.
I'm going. First one up is going to be, there will be rain in Austria and someone other than a Ferrari, Mercedes or Red Bull will finish on the podium.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Here's a good one, I know.
I'm not sure if this is a bold prediction, but I think there's going to be a disaster in one of the pit stops. And we're going to have because the pit crews are going to be a bit rusty. Obviously, there's going to be less members of staff about. I think there's going to be a proper disaster in the pit garage. To
play on that rustiness, point 2 for me, turn 1 is going to be chaos. We're going to have 5 cars retire out on turn 1.
Ooh, 5
cars, bang. 20 down to 15, just like that. Boom.
It's difficult.
Miss their braking point, go up the hill, it's a difficult one.
It's quite slow though.
Well,
he's going for it. That's why it's bold.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be a bold prediction if it weren't bold.
My second is going to be HAAS, best of the rest.
Sorry,
7th and 8th, maybe even 6th. Oh, Magnussen and Grosjean, they're going to be flying in those beautiful looking new HAAS cars.
That is actually, they were a stunning livery, weren't they?
It's going to be HAAS 3.0. Wait, is it 2.0? Can they be claimed 2.0 if you don't count 2019 and say 2018 was... They're going to be great. That's my second bold prediction.
Okay, HAAS are going to be great this weekend. My third and final bold prediction is in place of Ash, because I know this will be his one every time until it kind of happens, is George Russell will get into Q2. I'm sure with Ash returning next week that will be his one, unless of course George Russell does actually do it this weekend. But Williams, I'm not sure how big the gap is. They had a big gap to catch up, but he got very close in Hungary. I'm going to say George Russell is going to do it, get into Q2.
I'm going to kind of build on that for point 3. But rather than just qualifying, I think Williams are going to... I'm going to say they're going to get the points. Williams in the points. They're going to be competitive. That's my bold prediction. Williams, competitive.
That is so sad to say out loud.
I haven't seen it... Is it 3 years now?
I think it's
2 years.
Well,
it feels a long time, but actually it wasn't.
Yeah, I
that long
suppose
ago.
it's from 2018, 2019 because 2017. Stroll got his podium in Baku, didn't he?
Yeah.
But the 2014 to 16 they weren't bad at all during that period.
Going to be competitive. Going to get in the points on merit.
All right. Well, there you go. There is our 3 bold predictions ready for race 1 of the F1 2020 season at Austria. Racing is back, everyone. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, let's go. We're back. Oh, no, not that again. Okay, sorry, G. If you want to know about that, just go and watch the intro to the F1 Fantasy We're Back video, and you'll understand why we're laughing at that one. But guys, just a run through of what the content you can come to expect. Obviously, I gave a channel update video that came out on Tuesday. But basically, tomorrow will be the F1 Weekly News Show, giving you your kind of roundup of the latest news stories from the world of Formula 1. Saturday and Sunday will be the qualifying and race live streams, where we'll go approximately about 15 to 30 minutes after the race. We'll be live on YouTube, and make sure you guys kind of come along as we kind of give a round down, and then kind of have a conversation with you guys in terms of what's going on. Well, Steve and I will be in the comments or on camera. We're not sure in terms of that one, but yes, we'll be there in our masses in the comments in the live streams. And then driver ratings will be on Monday before rounding off our Austria coverage of race 1 in Austria, because obviously we have back-to-back weekends, with the race review podcast on Tuesday. But if you're new around here and that sounds exciting to you and you want to be involved and you haven't done so already, what can they do, Stephen?
They can like, they can subscribe, and they can ding that bell.
Ding that bell. But that's it from us, guys. Racing is back. It's your first proper preview of the F1 2020 season. Get hyped, because it's happening. So for now, you F1 fans, keep racing!